Ever wish you had like a secret weapon for navigating the world of money?
Oh, yeah.
Well, today we're diving deep
Okay.
into a book that claims to be just that.
All right.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Okay.
It sparked
Yeah.
tons of passionate debates and top bestseller lists
Right.
for over 2 decades.
Wow.
So buckle up as we unpack its core lessons about financial
Brilliant.
intelligence and building wealth, even if you didn't inherit a gold mine from your dear old dad.
Exactly.
What's fascinating about Rich Dad, Poor Dad is that it doesn't just throw around financial jargon.
Right.
It starts with a simple yet powerful story.
Okay.
The contrasting perspectives of Kiyosaki's own father, a highly educated but financially struggling PhD,
Oh, wow.
and his friend's father,
Okay.
the rich dad,
Okay.
a self-made millionaire who didn't even finish high school.
Wow. So 2 very different backgrounds.
Think about it.
Yeah.
If you had those 2 dads advising you on money, who would you trust?
That's a good question.
It's a question that really makes you examine your own beliefs about money, isn't it?
Definitely.
So what was the secret sauce that separated the rich dad from the struggling PhD?
Kiyosaki pinpoints a fundamental difference in their mindsets.
Okay.
The poor dad focused on working for money, chasing job security and paychecks.
Okay.
He was stuck on what I like to call the hamster wheel of earning.
I like that.
But the rich dad flipped the script.
Okay.
He emphasized having money work for him, building assets that generate income
Right.
even while he slept.
Okay. So it's not just about how much you earn,
Exactly.
but what you do with that money.
Yes.
This leads us to one of Kiyosaki's
Yeah.
most famous and sometimes controversial
Right.
concepts.
Correct.
The distinction between assets and liabilities.
Right.
He boils it down to this.
Yeah.
An asset puts money in your pocket.
Right.
A liability takes money, OUT.
Got it.
It sounds simple,
Right.
but it has profound implications,
It does.
especially when he starts challenging the conventional wisdom
Yeah.
about homeownership.
Right. He turns the traditional view of a house as an asset on its head,
Oh, wow.
using cash flow diagrams.
Yeah.
He shows how even though many see their homes as their most valuable possession, the reality is that those mortgages, property taxes, maintenance costs, all those things are often bleeding you dry financially.
So that big, beautiful house might make you look wealthy on the surface,
Right.
but it could be a financial sinkhole underneath.
Exactly.
It's like that saying, don't let your lifestyle inflate faster than your income.
Yeah, I like that one.
But Rich Dad wasn't just about critiquing the traditional path.
Right.
He offered alternatives,
Yes.
urging readers to mind their own business
Yeah.
and focus on building
Yeah.
that all-important asset column.
And when he says mind your own business,
Yeah.
he's not necessarily saying everyone should go out
Right.
and start a company.
Okay.
Remember his example of Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's?
Yeah.
When asked what business he was really in,
Yeah.
Kroc famously said, real estate.
Yes.
Yeah.
His point being that McDonald's wasn't just about selling burgers.
Exactly.
It was about securing prime locations. Essentially, building an empire on land ownership.
Exactly. Kroc understood that his business was ultimately about owning assets that generate income,
Right.
not just working in a business.
Got it.
And that's the kind of thinking
Okay.
Kiyosaki wants to instill in his readers. He encourages you to ask yourself,
Okay.
where does your income come from?
Right.
Is it solely from your job?
Oh.
Or are you building something that works for you 24/7,
Okay.
generating income even while you're off doing other things?
So it's about creating a system
Yeah,
where your money is working as hard as you are. Maybe even harder.
hopefully harder.
But Kiyosaki doesn't stop there.
Right.
He also dives into some
Right.
pretty controversial territory, like taxes.
All right.
And he doesn't mince words.
Okay.
He argues that the tax system, as it's currently structured,
Right.
is designed to benefit the wealthy,
Okay.
giving them a legal edge that most employees and small business owners
Right.
don't even know about.
He goes deep into the history of taxes,
Yeah.
exploring how corporations are able to utilize
Okay.
legal loopholes and deductions
Right.
that individuals often miss out on.
Yeah.
Now, this is where things can get a little heated,
Okay.
as people often interpret his message as either advocating for tax evasion
Right.
or promoting a system that unfairly favors the wealthy.
Right. it definitely sparks strong opinions.
Yeah.
But it's important to clarify
Yeah.
that Kiyosaki isn't encouraging
Right.
illegal activity.
No.
He's emphasizing the need for financial literacy,
Yes.
for understanding the rules of the game,
Okay.
so you can play it strategically
Right.
and ethically
Of course.
to your advantage.
Yeah.
It's like learning the finer points of chess, not cheating at checkers.
Exactly.
He wants you to understand that financial intelligence isn't just about
Right.
budgeting and saving. It's about knowing how money flows,
Yeah.
how wealth is created,
Okay.
and how to leverage the system legally
Right.
to achieve your financial goals.
So it's like equipping yourself with the knowledge and tools
Right.
to navigate the complex world of finance
Exactly.
rather than just blindly following the
Yeah.
traditional path.
And this leads us to another key theme in Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
Okay.
the power of recognizing and seizing opportunities even in down markets.
Right.
He's got some pretty wild stories
Oh, yeah.
about turning small investments into massive profits.
Okay.
Like scooping up those foreclosed properties for pennies in the dollar.
And this is where that entrepreneurial mindset comes in.
Right.
It's about seeing potential where others see only problems.
Yeah.
He shares an example of turning $5,000
Oh, wow.
into $1 million in just 6 years.
Now, whether those strategies are easily replicable in today's market is a whole other conversation.
Whole other story.
Yes. It's important to acknowledge that market conditions change.
Right.
And what worked in the past
Yeah,
might not be a slam dunk today.
exactly.
But his stories do highlight the importance of financial intelligence,
Yeah,
adaptability,
right.
and being able to think outside the box.
Absolutely. Kiyosaki wants you to develop that gold mining mentality
I like that.
to see the world as full of opportunities
Oh, yeah.
waiting to be discovered.
Now, this might sound a bit like get-rich-quick territory,
Right.
but Kiyosaki is very clear that financial success requires more than just
Yeah,
luck.
definitely.
It takes hard work, dedication, and a willingness to overcome
Right.
those internal obstacles that often hold us back.
He's not about sugarcoating the journey. He tackles things like fear,
Okay.
cynicism, and laziness head on,
Yeah.
arguing that conquering these internal roadblocks
Yeah.
is just as crucial as mastering any financial strategy.
So it's about winning the inner game
Mhm.
as well as the outer game of finance.
Yes.
It's like training for a marathon. You
Okay.
need both physical endurance
Right.
and mental toughness
Yeah.
to cross that finish line.
He uses a powerful analogy to illustrate this point.
Okay.
He talks about the Alamo,
Yeah.
not just the historical event,
Right.
but the way Texans remember it.
Okay.
They turned a crushing defeat
Yeah.
into a rallying cry,
Right.
a symbol of courage and resilience.
Okay.
Kiyosaki suggests we apply that same mindset to our financial lives.
So instead of letting fear or setbacks paralyze us,
Exactly.
we can reframe them as opportunities
Yeah.
for growth and learning.
Yes.
It's about turning financial lemons into lemonade.
Exactly. And he encourages you to identify your own don't wants,
Okay.
to uncover what you truly desire financially.
No, that's a powerful exercise.
Right.
By understanding what we don't want,
Yeah.
we can gain clarity on what we do want and start taking those steps
Yes.
towards our goals.
It's like clearing a path through a dense forest.
Okay.
You have to remove those obstacles,
Right.
those don't wants,
Yeah.
to see the path ahead more clearly.
So it's about combining practical advice with these deeper psychological insights.
Exactly.
And speaking of practical steps,
Yeah,
does he offer any specific guidance
he does.
on how to get started on this path
Hmm.
to financial freedom?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad provides a range of actionable steps,
Okay.
emphasizing the importance of finding mentors.
Ah, yes. The power of mentorship.
Right.
It's like having a seasoned guide
Exactly.
leading you through uncharted territory. Yeah. And he also talks about paying yourself first. Right?
Absolutely. That's a cornerstone of his approach.
Okay.
He even delves into the intriguing concept
Yeah.
of being an Indian giver in business.
Okay, now that one definitely piqued my curiosity.
I know, right?
Sounds like a financial magic trick.
Think of it this way.
Okay.
You're not just aiming for a single return on your investment.
Mm-hmm.
You're aiming for a boomerang effect.
Okay.
Where you get something back
Right.
beyond just profit.
Got it.
He's really advocating for creative thinking
Okay.
and finding ways to amplify your returns.
So it's not just about playing the game.
Exactly.
It's about learning how to bend the rules in your favor.
Yes.
Ethically, of course.
Of course.
Obviously.
And this all ties back to his central message
Okay.
that financial intelligence is a journey of lifelong learning.
Okay, so it's not just about getting that degree and calling it a day.
Right.
It's about continuously expanding your financial and skills.
Exactly.
What specific kind of learning?
He emphasizes diverse experiences,
Okay.
real-world learning,
Mm-hmm.
going beyond textbooks,
Okay.
and diving into the messy world of real estate,
Got it.
investing,
Yeah.
and entrepreneurship.
He believes in building a board of directors for your life.
Yes.
That's a great analogy.
Right.
It's like having your own personal financial dream team,
Exactly.
a group of experts who can offer guidance and support.
And remember, Kiyosaki stresses that financial education isn't just for the elite or those with fancy degrees.
Right.
It's a skill set that anyone can develop.
That's a message I think everyone needs to hear.
Definitely.
It's empowering to know that financial literacy
Yes.
is accessible to anyone willing to put in the effort
Exactly.
to learn and grow.
It's not about where you start.
Right.
It's about where you choose to go from here.
Exactly. And to wrap up this part of our deep dives,
Okay.
I want to leave you with one of Kiyosaki's most thought-provoking ideas.
All right, let's hear it.
He says, "The world is full of gold,
Okay.
but most people aren't trained to see it."
That's interesting.
Think about that for a moment.
Yeah.
What opportunities are you overlooking right now because you haven't equipped yourself
Right.
with the right financial lens?
That's a powerful question.
It challenges us to look beyond our current circumstances
Yes.
and consider what might be possible if we expanded our financial knowledge and mindset.
And before we move on,
Yeah.
remember that even small actions can lead to big results. Kiyosaki encourages you to start by picking just one strategy from the book and putting it into action this week.
Got it.
You might be surprised by the ripple effects it creates.
That's great advice.
Right?
It's easy to feel overwhelmed by all the information,
Yeah.
but taking that first step, no matter how small,
Right.
can set you on the
Right.
path towards greater financial empowerment.
It all starts somewhere.
So start small,
Yeah.
think big,
Aye.
and never stop learning.
Great advice. Welcome back. Before we went to break, we explored some of Kiyosaki's key ideas.
Right.
The importance of shifting your mindset, recognizing the difference between assets and liabilities, and understanding how crucial financial intelligence is for building wealth.
Right.
We even touched on his controversial views on taxes
Yeah.
and those rather audacious stories about transforming small investments into huge profits.
Right. And while these concepts are certainly thought-provoking, it's important to acknowledge that Rich Dad, Poor Dad hasn't exactly escaped criticism.
Yes, it's definitely sparked its fair share of controversy.
So let's unpack that a bit.
Okay.
What are some of the main criticisms that have been leveled against the book,
Okay.
Kiyosaki himself?
Well, some financial experts argue that he oversimplifies complex financial concepts. They say his advice, while motivational, might not be practical or even safe for everyone.
Got it.
It's like giving someone a set of basic tools
Okay.
and expecting them to build a skyscraper.
Right.
You need more than just a hammer and nails for that.
Okay, so his emphasis on simplicity,
Right.
while helpful for making the material accessible,
Yeah.
might sometimes come at the cost of nuance
Exactly.
or a deeper understanding of the complexities of
Right.
certain financial strategies.
Exactly.
There's also the argument
Okay.
that Kiyosaki's own background and the story of his rich dad
Right.
have been disputed.
Uh-oh.
Some question whether this rich dad even existed,
Yeah.
or if those impressive investment stories are exaggerated for dramatic effect.
Interesting.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
The mysterious figure of the rich dad.
Right.
It's a compelling part of the narrative,
It is.
but it's also led some to question the book's credibility.
Right.
And then there's the criticism that Kiyosaki,
Yeah.
with all those tales of rapid wealth creation, might be promoting a get-rich-quick mentality,
Okay.
focusing on speculative investments
Yeah.
rather than a more traditional,
Right.
long-term approach to wealth building.
So it's the classic debate.
Right.
Slow and steady versus high risk, high reward.
And some people feel like his methods
Yeah.
might encourage irresponsible risk-taking.
Precisely.
And let's not forget the critique that some of his principles, like the idea that your house is a liability, might not apply universally.
Right. Home ownership is still a cornerstone of the American dream. And for many people, it's their biggest asset, even if it comes with those ongoing expenses.
Absolutely.
Owning a home can offer stability, security, and pride of ownership. It's not something to dismiss lightly.
And it's important to remember that Rich Dad, Poor Dad was written over 25 years ago.
A long time ago.
The financial landscape has shifted dramatically since then.
That's a key point.
The rise of the internet, the evolution of the stock market, the volatility of the housing market, all of these factors have reshaped the financial playing field.
So the big question is, do Kiyosaki's principles still hold up in today's world? Are his ideas timeless wisdom or outdated relics of a bygone era?
That's what we're here to explore. And I think the answer is...
it depends.
The classic consultant's answer. It depends.
But seriously, what factors should people consider when evaluating whether his advice is relevant to their situation? How can we separate the gold nuggets from the fool's gold?
Well, first and foremost, context matters. Kiyosaki's background experiences, even his personality, shaped his views.
And what worked for him in his specific circumstances might not work for everyone. Individual goals, risk tolerance, and financial situations. All of these things need to be taken into account.
Got it.
It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. You can't just blindly apply someone else's financial blueprint to your own life without considering the specifics of your situation.
It's about taking those broad principles and tailoring them to fit your own unique circumstance.
Exactly.
It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
And secondly, it's crucial to be critical of any financial advice, even from best-selling authors. Do your own research. Seek diverse perspectives and always consider the potential downsides as well as the upsides.
Definitely.
Don't just take someone's word for it, no matter how charismatic or successful they might seem. That's such important advice.
It's like learning to be a savvy consumer in the marketplace of ideas. You have to be discerning and do your due diligence before making any major financial decisions.
Absolutely.
And thirdly, remember that the financial world is in constant flux.
It's like a river, always flowing, always changing.
New investment vehicles emerge, regulations shift, and market conditions fluctuate. What worked a decade ago might not be the optimal strategy today.
It's like learning a new language or software program. You have to stay updated and to keep refining your skills to adapt to the evolving landscape.
Precisely.
And that's why ongoing financial education is so crucial, whether that's through reading books, attending seminars, listening to podcasts like this one, or consulting with trusted financial advisors.
So Rich Dad, Poor Dad might be a good starting point for sparking financial curiosity and challenging conventional wisdom. But it's essential to remember that it's just one piece of the puzzle.
Exactly.
It's one voice in a vast chorus of financial perspectives.
And even with its flaws and controversies, the book has undoubtedly helped millions of people start thinking differently about money and investing.
It's opened up important conversations about financial literacy and empowered people to take control of their finances.
Exactly.
Even if you disagree with some of Kiyosaki's methods or conclusions, the book can still serve as a valuable tool for stimulating critical thinking about your own financial beliefs and habits.
It's like a mental workout for your finances, helping you identify your blind spots and challenge your assumptions.
And ultimately, I think that's one of the most important takeaways from this deep dive. Rich Dad, Poor Dad encourages us to question assumptions, explore new possibilities, and never stop learning. It's about empowering you to make informed financial decisions and create a future that aligns with your values and goals.
Well said. So while the book might not have all the answers, it can definitely serve as a catalyst for personal growth and financial empowerment.
It's like that saying, the best investment you can make is in yourself.
And with that in mind, let's transition to the final part of our deep dive,
Okay.
where we'll explore some actionable steps
Yeah.
you can take to apply the most relevant and valuable lessons
Ah.
from Rich Dad, Poor Dad to your own financial journey,
Okay.
regardless of your current situation or
Well,
starting point.
Stay tuned, folks, because we're about to move
Yes.
from theory to action,
Right.
equipping you with the tools and insights
Yes.
to start building your own path
Yeah.
toward financial freedom. All right, welcome back to the final act of our deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
All right.
We've explored Kiyosaki's core ideas,
Mm-hmm.
we've dissected the criticisms,
Right.
and now it's time to roll up our sleeves and
Yeah.
get practical.
Okay.
Let's talk about how you can actually apply some of these concepts
Right.
to your own financial journey.
It's time to shift gears from analysis to action.
Yeah.
So what are some key takeaways from Rich Dad, Poor Dad
Okay.
that our listeners can put into practice?
One of the most important takeaways,
Yeah.
in my view, is the power of mindset.
Okay.
Kiyosaki really hammers home the idea
Right.
that our beliefs about money
Yeah.
can either hold us back
Mm-hmm.
or propel us forward.
He encourages you to move beyond that
Right, cool.
scarcity mindset, that fear of not having enough,
Yeah.
and embrace an abundance mindset. It's about believing that opportunities for wealth creation are all around you,
Yeah.
like hidden treasures just waiting to be discovered.
Because it's about shifting your perspective,
Right.
changing the lens through which you view
Yeah.
the world of money.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of seeing obstacles and limitations,
Yeah.
you start seeing possibilities and potential.
Exactly.
And a practical way to start cultivating this mindset
Yeah.
is to focus on building assets,
Okay.
those things that put money in your pocket,
Right.
rather than liabilities that drain your resources.
Okay. This is where we move from the theoretical
Right.
to the concrete.
What are some examples of assets
Yeah.
that people can start building,
Okay.
even if they're not real estate moguls
Right.
or stock market whizzes?
Kiyosaki does talk a lot about real estate,
Yeah.
but it's not the only game in town.
Right.
It could be starting a side hustle,
Okay.
investing in stocks or bonds,
Mm-hmm.
creating intellectual property,
Okay.
like writing a book,
Right.
or developing an online course,
Mm-hmm.
or even building a strong network of valuable contacts.
Or think of it as diversifying your income streams.
Right.
Creating multiple sources of wealth
Yeah.
that work for you,
Okay.
even while you're sleeping.
So it's like building a financial fortress
Yeah.
with multiple layers of defense,
Right.
rather than relying on a single source of income that could crumble at any moment.
Exactly.
And another key takeaway,
Okay.
one that goes hand in hand with building assets,
Yeah.
is the importance of financial education.
Right.
Kiyosaki emphasizes that it's not enough
Okay.
to just work hard and save money.
Right.
You need to understand how money works,
Yeah.
how it flows,
Okay.
how wealth is created,
Yeah.
and how to make it work for you.
So it's like learning the rules of the game,
Right.
mastering the strategies,
Yeah.
and developing the skills
Right.
to become a financial all-star.
But where do people even begin to acquire this kind of financial education?
Yeah.
It can seem overwhelming,
You're right.
right?
It can be daunting.
But there are so many resources available these days, both free and paid.
Yeah.
You can start with books, podcasts like this one,
Mm-hmm.
online courses,
A boner.
seminars,
Yeah.
even financial advisors.
Right.
Kiyosaki also highlights the value of mentorship.
Ah, yes. The power of mentorship. Having someone who can guide you,
Yeah.
share their wisdom,
Okay.
and help you avoid those costly mistakes.
Hmm.
It's like having a financial Sherpa
I like that.
leading you up the mountain
Yes.
of wealth creation.
Concisely.
And remember, financial education is not a one-time event.
Right.
It's an ongoing process.
Exactly.
It's about staying curious,
Yeah.
staying informed,
Okay.
and continuously adapting
Hmm.
to the ever-changing financial landscape.
It's like staying in shape.
Right.
You can't just go to the gym once
Right.
and expect to be fit for life.
Exactly.
You have to make it a regular part of your routine,
Right.
constantly challenging yourself and pushing your limits.
And finally, one of the most valuable and often overlooked takeaways from
Yes.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad
Yeah.
is the importance of taking action.
Yes.
It's easy to get stuck in analysis paralysis,
Right.
overthinking every decision,
Yeah.
and second-guessing yourself into inaction.
It's like standing on the edge of the diving board,
Right.
hesitant to take that plunge,
Yeah,
but sometimes you just have to close your eyes and jump.
exactly.
Yeah.
Kiyosaki encourages you to take that leap of faith,
Mm.
to start small,
Yeah.
experiment,
Okay.
and learn by doing.
Right.
He says, don't wait for the perfect moment.
Okay.
Start where you are
Yeah.
with what you have and take that first step.
Such empowering advice.
It's like that old saying,
Yeah.
the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
And remember, it's okay to make mistakes along the way.
Right.
In fact, mistakes are inevitable. They're
Yeah.
part of the learning process. The key is to view them as valuable feedback.
Right.
Adjust your course and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Don't let fear of failure paralyze you.
Okay. We've distilled some powerful takeaways from Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Right.
We've talked about shifting your mindset,
Yes.
building assets,
Okay.
investing in your financial education, seeking out mentors,
Yeah.
and taking action.
Yeah.
If you could offer our listeners just one piece of advice
Okay.
as they embark on their journey to improve their financial lives,
Yeah.
what would it be?
I'd say start by identifying your financial goals.
Okay.
What do you truly want to achieve with your money?
Right.
What does financial freedom look like to you?
Yeah.
Once you have clarity on your destination,
Okay.
you can start mapping out your route
Right.
and taking those first steps.
That's great advice. It's like setting out on a road trip.
Right.
You wouldn't just start driving
Yeah,
without knowing where you want to go.
exactly.
You need a destination.
It's a map and a
Okay.
plan. And remember, financial freedom isn't a one-size-fits-all concept.
Yeah.
It means something different to everyone.
Okay.
So define what it means to you and start creating a life that reflects your vision.
Beautifully said. And remember, folks, even small changes
Yeah.
in your financial habits and mindset can create a ripple effect over time,
Yeah.
leading to greater wealth,
Okay.
security, and ultimately that freedom
Right?
to live life on your own terms.
Exactly.
So start today,
Yeah.
even if it's just with a small step.
And remember, the world is full of opportunity.
Okay.
It's up to you to seize those opportunities and create the financial future you deserve.
On that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive
All right.
into Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Okay.
We hope this exploration has sparked your financial curiosity,
Yeah.
challenged your assumptions, and inspired you to take action
Right.
toward building a brighter financial future.
It's not about how much money you make.
Right.
It's about what you do with that money and how you use it to create the life you want.
So go out there,
Yeah.
embrace that abundance mindset,
Okay.
keep learning, keep growing,
Yeah.
and keep building your financial empire
Okay.
one brick at a time.
Great advice.
We'll be back next week with another deep dive
All right.
into a fascinating and thought-provoking topic.
Okay.
So be sure to tune in.
Looking forward to it.
Until then,
Yeah.
keep exploring, keep questioning,
Okay.
and keep striving for financial freedom.